Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome to another video on a game that you probably didn't really expect to see on this channel, ArcheAge. So, it's not really a game I've played much of before. I didn't join it when it started out in 2014. And as you know, if you've been with my channel for a while, I tend to, as a general rule, be more interested in things like Total War, Conqueror's Blade, tend to be the more historical-based games, Bannerlord, things like that, which has kind of always been the staple of my channel. And I think that's going to continue to be the staple of my channel. However, a lot of people from my Conqueror's Blade community have kind of got quite interested in this game, ArcheAge, because of ArcheAge Unchained, which is a new release coming out at the end of September. And I thought, well, if a lot of people are interested in it, a lot of people wanted to play it and set up a bit of a community over there, I thought, well, I should at least check it out, kind of see what it's all about, see if it's something I could get into. So I've downloaded the free version that's currently available. I've been playing around with it, testing it out a little bit, and I must admit, I've been quite enjoying it. And the more I read up on it, it looks like the sort of thing that I think I'm actually going to give a reasonable go at in ArcheAge Unchained when it comes out at the end of September. So I kind of just wanted to touch on why this is something that's kind of interested me, why it's something I want to check out, and why it might be something you're interested in, even if, like me, it's not really traditionally the sort of game that you'd normally play. Because I say it's kind of not the game that most people would be interested in who are interested in things like Total War. So it feels fairly World of Warcrafty to me in many ways. Large chunks of it, it's kind of you have large amounts of spells. It's fairly fantasy based. You have just a vast array of UI. I mean, look at the screen compared to Conqueror's Blade. The amount of information you get given just from the off is pretty crazy. So it feels pretty intense in that sense. And it shares a lot of sort of similarities with World of Warcraft, I think. Although, having said all this, I never really played World of Warcraft much when I was younger. I haven't played World of Warcraft Classic, which was recently released, so I'm hardly exactly an expert on that either. And obviously, I know very little actually about this game, because as I say, it's not something I've really played before, and it's not really a genre I know much about, so it's been quite a steep learning curve. Obviously, it's a pretty grindy type of game. You're killing mobs in PvE, building things, crafting things, all that sort of thing. It's fairly grindy in that aspect. But it does have quite a good sort of reward system. You can own land, you can build your own properties, and all that type of element, as well as the guilds type elements, is kind of what interests me the most. And the fact that I'm going to be able to play this with a community of people that I already know kind of just sort of really adds to that appeal for me. So, to go a little bit of background of why it's changing from ArcheAge to ArcheAge Unchained, basically, when ArcheAge was first released, the original version, it was a free-to-play game. It was released back in, I think it was 2014. But ultimately, while it was very popular, a lot of people really liked the core mechanics. A lot of people felt that it was ruined vastly by a lot of pay-to-win aspects. And I think that's been largely acknowledged both by the developer and the publisher, that they did that. And that's kind of what killed the game. A lot of people got fed up with that, with the way that it's being implemented, and basically left. So basically, ArcheAge Unchained is going to be no longer free to play, but it's going to be a buy to play. So you buy the base game, that will get you in. But then there's going to be no pay to win aspects in the game once you've actually bought it. So actually, that's kind of the Unchained part of it. So once that actually comes out, that will be kind of pretty cool, and that's going to be why it changes quite a lot. So for those of you who have played ArcheAge originally back in 2014, if you were put off by the pay to win mechanics, then ArcheAge Unchained may certainly be the game for you, because that's going to be changing things up quite a lot with the fact that we're no longer going to be having that pay-to-win stuff. So this kind of leads me on to my secondary point of this whole video, which was, is it something that I want to feature on the channel? So that's kind of a tough one. It's not something that really traditionally fits in with my channel, and obviously it's going to be depending a little bit on how much I enjoy this myself. Once it actually kicks off on the 30th of September, I'm going to start playing it. I'll play it, see if I enjoy it. If I do, I might do a bit of streaming of it on my YouTube, and there'll be a couple of videos on it. It's certainly not going to take over the channel. The main thing is still going to be things like Bannerlord, still going to be Conqueror's Blade, still going to be Total War based stuff, because I think that's what the core of this channel is about, that more historical based games. But I think this is something that some people certainly might be interested in. I know it's something that quite a few people from the Conqueror's Blade community have kind of been interested in. So hopefully it's something that will at least have some draw for at least a few of you. So I'll be kind of interested to hear how many of you have sort of heard of ArcheAge and are interested in it. And do you think it's something that should, at least in a small way, feature on the channel a little bit in the background, even though it's quite different from the type of content that we've kind of done traditionally? Obviously, I'm not going to be very good at it. Never played it before, not really played much of this type of game before, so it's going to be quite a learning experience, I think, for me. But one that I'm pretty excited to take on. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to be this video in. Just like a little bit of a touch on what ArcheAge is, kind of why ArcheAge Unchained is different to the original ArcheAge from 2014, kind of how this pay-to-win aspect is supposed to be going away. And I think from what I've heard and read so far, it genuinely is going away. I think the community backlash, if they turned back on that, would be so severe that they really wouldn't be doing themselves any favours. So hopefully they stick to that. Got to have at least a bit of confidence that they will, but I guess you never really know. So yeah, so I kind of just wanted to touch on it and highlight why I'm looking at it and why it might be something that just gets very slightly featured on the channel in the future. But it's certainly not going to be replacing Conqueror's Blade. It's certainly not going to be replacing other things in the future either. It's certainly just going to be sort of one of those little things that's a little bit different. It's certainly not going to be replacing the more historical content on the channel. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. As I say, if there's something that interests you, please do let me know in the comments down below. I'm really interested to hear about it. Subscribe to the channel for a load more random video content, ArcheAge content, should I say? Videos, maybe? And I shall see you guys all on the next one.